wake up every morning when the clock strikes 8. I'm always punctual, never late. With a nice cup of tea, a little run of toast, the sporting life and the winning post. I get so nice and tidy, then I toddle off to work. I do the best I can. Still I'm only doing what a bloke should do, 'cause I'm only a working man.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, when treetops glisten and children listen and hear the sleigh bells.
Good morning. And what merry little tale of misfortune have you brought in for our edification today? What's the matter then? Has the cat got his tongue? Come now, you can tell me. You know, when I got up this morning and saw the sun shining, I said to myself, today I shall be nice to everyone. Big or small, fat or thin, duck or even drink. But you are making it very difficult for me. Now tell me, did you lose the job?
I might have done.
I might have done. What kind of answer is that? Did you lose the job or didn't you lose the job?
Possibly.
I might have done possibly. How can anyone might have done possibly have lost a job?
Be that as it may. You must please yourself.
I can't understand you.
Then you must form your own opinion and act accordingly. What's that? Whatever that?
Look, for the sake of both our sanities, will you kindly explain yourself?
I don't want to get involved.
You don't want to get involved?
That's right, Mr. Pooh.
Pew!
Pardon?
Pew.
That's right, Mr. Pugh. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved. If I told you why I lost a job, you would start shouting and hollering at me, and that will give you an headache. And you say, would you mind going to the chemist get me some aspirins? No, of course not, I say. And I go down there, just as I get outside the door, your wife rushes in. Hello, Poo-Poo, she says.
Pew-pew.
That what she calls you. How are you? You say, I'm all right, darling. You don't tell her about the headache, because you keep on getting them, and it upsets her. Just then, I dash back and say, here's your aspirins, and she goes, oh, you've got a headache, and you never told me so. Well, darling, it's only a little one. I didn't want to upset you. No, she says. No. You hid it from me. We cannot live together like this, deceiving each other. She goes back home to her mum and sues you for divorce, for lack of conjuring tricks. All because I got involved.
Have you finished?
No, I'm not. Now, yesterday I'm waiting for a number 14 bus and I see a parcel on the pavement. I pick it up and I take it round to the address what's written on it. I knock at the door, a lady comes out. Before I can say a word, her bulldog's halfway up the garden path with a seat of my trousers in his mouth. I stood there red-cheeked and ashamed. You naughty dog, Carpenter, she said. She called him Carpenter because he did little jobs about the house. The poor gentleman will catch his death of cold. Come in here, she said, and give me those trousers. Naturally, I was a little reticent, and despite the intense cold, stood my ground. You don't have to be shy with me, she said. I've got 4 little boys of my own. But madam, I said, I'm 39! And in full possession of both my faculties. Don't be cheeky, she said. And bundled me into a nearby wardrobe. Hand them out, she said, and I did. Stood there knee-deep in mothballs and squids of love. Suddenly I heard a man's voice. Hello, darling, he said. What? I thought to myself, with any kind of luck, I'm in for a bit of an hammer in here. Suddenly the wardrobe door was flung open, the man took one look at me and said, blimey, it's her husband, and jumped out the window. I tripped over a mothball and caught my head in a coal bucket. The budgie laid an egg in the ashtray, the woman fainted, and the dog chased a cat up the tree. I'm up the tree, rescuing the cat in the manner prescribed in the RSPC handbook, and along comes the fire brigade. The chief said, oh, he said, what are you doing up there with your head in a coal bucket, no trousers on, the Siamese cat stuck up the back? Waiting for a 14 bus, I replied. Owes me, they did, owes me.
Is that all?
No, it's not all. I'm in bed the other night, having a good think. And I heard a little thump. That's not me, I thought. So I got up, put my pyjamas on, and I went over, and there on the window ledge was a little woodworm with a broken leg. Moaning gently. He was. They've only got one eye, you know.
You know, I worry about you. I often find myself waking up in the middle of the night and sitting in the darkness thinking, perhaps it's my fault. Maybe if I were more patient with him, it might bring out some of his finer points. Perhaps I'm subconsciously turning a blind eye to the good in him. After all, I say to myself, nobody could be as stupid as that. And then I come in here the next morning and see you, and I realize I've lost all that sleep for nothing. You know, I honestly believe that you weren't intended for this planet in the first place, or indeed any other planet. You should be in orbit, you nasty little ginger-headed android.
I told you they only had one eye, didn't I?
You did mention it, yes.
So I picked him up and cuddled him for a couple of hours, just to gain his confidence. And I finally managed to lay him down on his back. I got a matchstick and cut out a little splint and tied it round his leg with the hair out of my own head. Then I got a matchbox and filled it with cotton wool, and I laid him there. For 2 months I never left his side. Every morning I shook out the cotton wool. Every morning I made him a new little splint. In 2 months I made him 84 pairs of splints. He kept eating them. 4 months later I realised there was no more I could do. So I picked him up, gave him a last rub down with an oak splinter. Put him on a window ledge and said goodbye. Then he crawled sadly off into a little hole in the woodwork.
Well, what happened?
3 weeks later the house fell down.
Have you finished?
Yes, I have, Mr. Pooh.
Pew!
I finished getting mixed up with other people. In future, I shall keep myself to myself, and I think if everybody did that, this would be a better world to live in.
Am I to understand, then, that you have turned your back on your fellow man?
I might have done.
Then you must turn right round and face him again.
Possibly.
J.C. Wharton, Madras Street. They need a sweeper.
Be that as it may.
I am giving you one last chance.
You must please yourself.
I don't know why I bother.
Then you must form your own opinion and act according.
If I'd had the sense when I first clapped eyes on you, I might have possibly, be that as it may, pleased myself formed my own opinion and acted accordingly by grabbing you by the scruff of your boiler suit, lashing you to a National Health Insurance card, and hanging you upside down over a slow-burning picture of the Minister of Labour.
Don't look now, but we're in mid-air.
Get out of it! Go on, get out! You great idle lump of nothing! I'm not going to have any levitation going on in this place. Go on, get back under that stove when you first fall out. Go on.
He's getting involved.
Very angry. Go on, get out of it, or I'm liable to dump you into the middle of next week.
We've been since a Monday. Why don't you come in yesterday? Oh, I had the lovely shepherd's pie. Mwah! Oh, maybe you don't like the shepherd's pie no more, huh? Hey, you looking for another job? Ah, but you come back in a time for tea. Hey, is it still raining outside? Oh, she's always raining in this country. Oh, did you see Maria when you come in? She left a minute ago, and as she was to leave, she was to say to me, Tony, if a little Charlie come in, give him my love. Now, what do you fancy for the 3:30, huh? Oh, it's good to see you again.
Large tea, please.
That's all you got to say to me? A large tea? To me, Tony, your best friend? Ain't you gonna say, how are you, Tony? You look good, Tony. How's Maria, Tony? You getting a little fatter, Tony. You don't even say hello, Tony.
Hello, Tony.
Ah, that's better.
Large tea, please.
Ah, what's the matter, eh? We don't see you for 2 whole days. Maria, she is crying herself to sleep. Oh, what's happened to that poor little fella? He should get the job, maybe. Go to sleep, Maria, I say. Not our little Charlie. Then you come in with a face like a rice pudding and all you can say is, want a larger tea. What's the matter with you?
I don't want to get involved.
Involved? What's this involved?
I've only been here a minute and you've asked me 7 questions. If I answer one of them, I'll get involved. Take away, what do you fancy for the 3:30? I say, blue boy, you back it and it loses. Maria comes in and says, where the rent, Tony? You say, oh, you say, little Charlie told me to put it on blue boy and the 3:30 get beaten by a short the necker and she hits you over the head with a tin of ravioli. You end up in hospital and she goes back to Italy and I lose 2 of my best friends. So that's it. It. Finito. This is the new me. Hello, Tony. 1 large tea, please.
All right. So what you want? So what you get? 1 large tea coming up with no involvement. Cadeva fare a quelle vecchie valle di farmi segno.
There you are, I told you. It started.
Now what started?
The abuses.
What are you talking about?
This new substitute rule, I said. When they passed it, it'd only lead to abuses, I said. And I was right. Look at this, Fred Rimble taken off with a suspected broken leg in a 16th minute. Joe Snitters, the substitute, goes on and he scores an hat-trick. Now, you're not going to tell me that that is on the level.
Yes, but he did break a leg.
There's a picture of him in the paper this morning, lying in hospital with his leg in plaster.
What's that prove?
It proves he broke his leg.
He was acting on instruction.
Acting on instructions? What are you talking about? The trainer told him to break his leg in the 60th
Now,
minute.
you are being silly. I didn't say that, did I? All I said was, it was very fortuitous in the circumstance, wasn't it? Did you see it, mate?
I might have done.
Right. Was he acting on instructions?
Possibly.
You know, you're a bigger idiot than him.
Be that as it may.
Who's an idiot?
You are!
What would you do to a snob that called you an idiot, mate?
You must form your own opinion and act accordingly.
You're dead right.
Yes, I'm Charles Drake, casual labour weaver who's come for the job at a vacancy, and I don't want to get involved.
You swine! What have you done to her?
I never touched her. Oh, I'm Charles Drake, casual labour weaver who's come for the job at a vacancy, and I don't want to get involved.
There, my dear, there. Now, don't worry, it'll be all right. Tell you what, take the rest of the day off.
I do. Really, Mr. Scott, I shall be quite all right.
Nonsense.
Off you go then, don't argue.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, don't just sit there, man. Help the ladies, least you can do. Now, come along, my dear. Come along, don't you worry. Everything's going to be all right. Enjoy yourself. Well, go on then. You damned rotter.
young man, what have you been doing to her?
Defender officer, I said I'm Charles Street, casual letting just come for a job at a vacancy and I don't want to get involved.
There, Mary dear. Go away. Oh, it's you. Don't you think you've caused enough trouble already? What do you want?
I don't want no, just as the young lady left her parcels.
Well, you better bring them in then.
Now, never mind, you'll be all right, you'll be all right. Gonna be all right.
Put them down there. Perhaps in future this will teach you to hold your tongue and not to go around upsetting people. Now get out of my house.
All right, Mother, now how was he to know? It was just an unfortunate coincidence.
It wouldn't have happened at all if he kept his mouth shut.
Let me explain.
All right, son, don't worry about it. It's all over now. But in future, think before you speak, because you could hurt a lot of people that way.
What way? What did I say?
Involved.
Involved?
That's the word that caused all the trouble. Involved.
Hey?
Well, see, she's been going steady now with the boy for about 3 years. They've been saving up and everything. Well, last night he comes around and he tells her it's all off. Well, she says to him, why? And he says, because I don't want to get involved. She never slept a wink all night. I told her to stay in bed all the next day, but she said to me, no, Dad, I'm going off to work because I want to forget about it. And then you come along and you say, I don't want to get involved. So in future, son, please try and have a little consideration for others.
Yeah, I will. You're right, sir. I'm very sorry. I've never done. I'm sorry, miss. I'm sorry, madam. See, I started off this morning not wanting to get him. Didn't mean any harm. Shouldn't worry too much about the young lady. She'll find someone else. After all, he's not the only pebble on the beach.
You monster! How dare you bring that up? Don't you think you've caused enough trouble in this house? Why don't you mind your own damn business?
You all right?
What's up with her? What is up with her?
You've done it again!
What do?
Open your big mouth!
What's that?
You seem to take a delight in hurting people! Have you got no control over your tongue at all?
I'll say what I say!
Pebble.
Pebble!
Pebble.
Pebble. You see, 30 years ago when we got married, we went to Hastings for our honeymoon. Well, we were standing on the beach one day when she said to me, Harry, let's exchange pebbles. And I said, all right. So she gave me one, and I gave her one. And then she said to me, as long as we keep our pebbles, our love will never die.
You lost yours.
No! She lost hers.
Made a right rip there. I have to watch my P's and Q's.
You thoughtless, heartless wretch! You brute! Have you no feelings at all? Oh, if only I were a man! I'm sick of the poke I know each one of you was alive!
Pews?
No.
Peas.
Yeah.
Why peas?
Oh, God knows. Every time anyone mentions peas, she goes up the wall. We haven't had roast duck in the house for 12 years.
I don't know what to say.
Well, you could try saying nothing. But if you feel you must say something, then try and say it without giving offence.
You mean be evasive?
Exactly.
Like I might have done?
That's it.
Possibly.
Good.
Be that as it may.
Oh, fine.
You must please yourself.
Very good.
Then you must form your own opinion and act accordingly.
You know that's
Accordingly?
Yes.
You don't know why?
No.
Been a funny sort of a day. I woke up this morning determined not to get in. Nearly did it again, didn't I?
Don't worry. Oh, I realise I was just being silly. But if you had really loved me, well, you would never have left.
If I'd have been him, I wouldn't have gone.
You are sweet.
So are you. I think you're the nicest girl I've ever met.
Thank you. You know, I feel quite different now.
So do I. So do I.
What happened?
It was a white wedding. You sure we can afford it, you said. Wherever we can afford it or not, you shall have it, I said. It only happens once, and you look lovely in white. And the photographer and the knife and fork me. Warm and sunny, it said on the wireless, and her two little cousins were bridesmaids dressed in pale blue organza, both carrying a little bunch of wild violets. We won't stay too long after the reception, I said, because we want to get to Hastings. Her mum and Deb went there, you know. She blushed and I turned away and pretended not to notice. A mixed choir and a senior lady organist. Suppose she don't turn up? I thought, suppose Tony's forgotten a ring? These things go on in a bridegroom's mind, you know. And suddenly, dum-dum-dee-dum, dum-dum-dee-dum. She'd arrived. I couldn't look round, you're not allowed to. But I peeped out the corner of my eye and I saw her. She looked beautiful, Mr. Pugh. She was dressed in all shiny white satin, a lovely wispy veil, held on her head with a little wreath of daisies. Then the choir began to sing. All things bright and beautiful. You take this lady for your lawful wedded wife. Yes, yes, please, I said. All things bright and beautiful. And you take this man to be your lawful wedded husband. She said no. She didn't want to get involved. I get so many evening clothes on 6:00. Strong as a phalanx, sturdy as a weapon, high as a piece of atom. kicks off both his shoes, then settles in the corner with the diary news.